All right, well, next up we have Courtney, who is actually using these tools. So we're going to take it from theory to, wow, this is like a live scenario. So.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I'm the marketing manager at Kindred Homes. You might be thinking, well, who is that and why are we up here? Well, like she mentioned, we partnered with InterNow and Blue Tangerine. So we have a real hands-on experience with these guys. And I'm gonna share a little bit about us, who we are, how we've integrated with our sales team, and kind of things we've learned along the way. So we're a family-founded leading home builder in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. We build anything from 1,600 square foot starter home to a 4,000 square foot complete luxury custom home. So quite a big range, so hopefully that relates to some of you guys in the audience right now. We have about 50 employees and we're forecasted to close on about 90 homes this year. That'll put us at about 90 to 100 million in revenue. So just to give you an insight on kind of our size right now. So like I mentioned, we integrated InterNow into our sales process April of last year. So we just hit our 1-year mark. And then we launched our new website with Blue Tangerine in December of last year. So got really good insight on how those have come to fruition. So adapting to our sales team. When we first started, we only had 10 devices and we had a lot more inventory than just 10. So we had to pick and choose our inventory wisely. We have model homes in all of our communities that we have a salesperson available. At that time when we just started, they actually had 2 days off. So our salesperson was out for 2 days and the model home was closed. Obviously, we did see those InterNow tours spike on those 2 days that they weren't there. So if you have a similar setup, just know that InterNow will be used, definitely on those 2 days. And when we first started, our website couldn't integrate with InterNow. I won't out who it was, but thankfully we have Blue Tangerine now, and we've really been able to integrate with our website, and I'll dive into how much that has impacted our tours. Like I mentioned, we've hit our 1-year mark, and that has resulted in 657 tours, which is huge for us. I mean, that is foot traffic to your door. You have the lead, you have their name, you have their phone number, and you can contact and follow up. Continuous growth, maybe you're sitting in the audience and you say, well, I have staff full-time. Well, eventually we got there too. We hired sales assistants in August, and I kind of braced for impact, thinking, okay, well, our InterNow tours are going to decline because we have salespeople around the clock now. Well, we actually saw the opposite happen. Yeah, Barrett's happy about that. But 5 months prior to having to not having assistants, we had 184 tours. That following 5 months, we had 243 tours. So that I wanted to point out because I just wanted to emphasize the demand that's actually there for self-guided tours. Doesn't matter if you have staff full-time or you have no one out there, right? You just have that spec home sitting. The demand is going to be there, whatever your setup is. Another thing with adapting to our team is we weren't really sure how they were going to react, because some guys that have been in the business for a very long time, they want that face-to-face interaction with the client. They don't want anyone to go around them. They want to talk to them. They want their sales pitch, and they want it right then and right now, right? Over time, we've seen that change. That mind shift has changed because, one, they're still receiving that critical information, their name, their phone number, and they can follow up. Whereas if that same person walked through your model home and they didn't want to give you their information, they didn't have to, right? You're not writing it down because you don't want to, you don't want to deal with the salesperson. Well, now someone can go self-tour, they give their information to InterNow, it leads back to the sales team. They might not know it at that moment, but they get that lead and they can follow up and see if they actually are ready to buy the home. Another thing that they've come around to is that they can work and collect leads when they're not even in their model home. When they're at home with their families, they're still getting leads. So I wanted to share this, what Chris had to say. He's one of our new home consultants. He said, InterNow, I feel, has bridged a gap that we had with buyers wanting to see the product without the pressure of speaking to a sales counselor. It helps us capture traffic we wouldn't be getting because the buyers didn't want to leave information. And so now being able to gather that information is critical to our job and gives us a better opportunity to secure sales. It's also helped buyers who don't have time due to their busy schedules to come in after hours. So 2 things, gathering information and then the convenience of Enter Now, right? They can come at any time, even if our models are closed. I know it's a sin to show you this many numbers at 8 a.m., but bear with me. I am gonna go over it pretty briefly, high level, so we won't dig into all of it. But yeah, if you're in marketing, you're probably trying to gather as much information on the screen as you possibly can, because it gives you insight to what's actually working for us. And I know everyone's pulling out their phones now, like, what's working? Yeah. So on the left-hand side, and this is just year-to-date results, but on the left-hand side, you'll see our lead sources. So all of our leads and throughout all of our sources, you can see that over half are from online. You see realtors bring in about 22%, walk-ins about 10, and Enter Now 6. You might be saying, well, it's not that many, a small percentage. Well, then you look at our sales and closing contribution and you see how much of a stake Enter Now actually holds. 13.6% in our primary sources, and our secondary sources, 15.4%. So from that 5% of sources, lead sources, so all of our leads that are coming in, you can tell that Enter Now leads specifically are more qualified leads that are coming through because they're actually resulting in sales. Where a lot of our website traffic, as much as we love it, and we'll take as many as we can get, the quality is not always there. Whereas with Enter Now, we've seen the quality is really there, and we've seen them convert really easily. Another items I wanted to point out is diving into that online registration. I know it's the thing you're most interested in because it's 55% of our leads. Well, when you dive into even our secondary sources, our Google ads are 5%. Enter Now is at 15%. And we spend a whole lot of money on Google ads, don't we? And Zillow at 7%. So I just wanted to put that in comparison to what actually converts, and to know that even if the lead volume might be low when you're first starting at Enter Now, just know that it's a qualified buyer still coming out to look at that. So how do we maximize our impact with Enter Now? So thankfully, like I mentioned, we launched with Blue Tangerine, our new website. Prior to that, we only relied on Enter Now signage, and they do a great job on signage, but that's basically anyone that was already in the community. And so by actually having it on our website, people know that it exists. They're able to attain that information that they didn't know prior, and they can completely disengage from our sales team. I know it's scary, but it comes back to your team. I promise it does. So I wanted to note here, 4 months before launching Enter Now with our website, we had 179 tours. 4 months after, we had almost 300 tours. So it just shows the impact that a website can have with integrating self-tours. Another thing, and I know Greg mentioned this too, is prioritizing data integration. These tours are great. You could have 300 of them coming through, but if it's not getting to your sales team, it's going nowhere, right? The idea of following up and leads coming in and we can't even respond with an email, all of this is just wasted money if we can't actually get it integrated into our CRM so that our sales team can follow up. So make sure if you're going this route, have a good website that can really focus on that data integration. So how we maximized our impact on our website. So 2 screenshots of our current site. And then the bottom one is when you click into schedule a tour, these are the 3 options that it shows you. It's call us, schedule an appointment, and you can request your desired date to tour, or you can do Enter Now, visit by myself completely alone. And like Greg mentioned, strategic implementation of calls to action. The more calls to action, I think personally, the better. 4 main topics to focus on with calls to action is make sure they're easily accessible, user-friendly, of course, and have a variety of options. You can see from the top right screenshot, we've got a call button at the top, a favorites button. They can fill out their information, save their home that they love, come back to it while they're still searching other communities. We've got a schedule a tour button, which gives you more options. We've got a chat bot and an email button and a call button and that question box that sticks with you throughout the entire website. I mean, there's a million ways for this lead to convert, but the most important part is that they can pick a tailored one that's their preference, right? It's not just a call and that's your only option. Have multiple options that are tailored to your specific buyers, because that's what they want to see. They expect a personalized, tailored experience these days. That's the number one thing we've learned, is to have a tailored approach for your diverse buyer profiles. Understand your buyer preferences. You know, it's not a one size fits all anymore. And I think about that, Kroger, which I don't know if anyone's familiar, grocer, they moved all of their checkout to self-checkout during COVID times. And they just announced, I think it was maybe in the last year, that they're doing a huge hiring of cashiers because they saw a big decline in sales and a bunch of feedback, negative feedback about, well, I don't like self-checkout and that's inconvenient and all these problems with it. So they made so much effort to get these self-checkout options available in all of their stores. And they're having to go back because they had buyers that was their preference. Me, I'm not gonna out myself, but millennial. I'm a self-checkout every single time. I will not talk to anyone if I don't have to. So make sure with this new generation coming up and buying homes, they have that ability, or else they're gonna go to someone else. They don't wanna even call their doctor anymore, right? To schedule an appointment. They're going on their app, sending a virtual appointment. I'm not coming in either if I don't have to. Just send me a link, I'll join it, right? So just make sure it's a tailored approach to all of your profiles. You've got your traditional buyers, you'll still see those. They prefer a call-in. Your middle ground buyers, they'll often reach out to schedule an appointment, kind of what you see with a pre-owned home. And then this new age buyer, which is so fun. But they gravitate towards self-guided tours. And why that's important is it really fosters positive experiences for their purchasing decisions. And it's a personalized experience, and that's what they're wanting out of this. I mean, you see it across different industries. Everyone's become more personalized in how they approach their shopping experience. What's another point to that is hearing from our sales team of what they've learned. With knowing your preferences, you have to know that through the entire sales funnel, not just when you capture it on your website or through Enter Now. That's great. You've reached them. You've got their preference. They've picked a self-guided tour, but remember it when it comes down to the sales funnel, because our sales team will come to me and be like, well, I'm reaching out to all these Enter Now leads and they just won't respond. They don't want to talk to me. I'm like, sounds about right. I mean, they didn't want to talk to you at the beginning. And it's no shame on the salesperson, it's just their preference. But make sure you're still following up with those leads, because I can tell you, if you're not, the next builder is, and they'll be top of mind when that buyer is ready to buy. But they're going to come to you when they're ready, because they value their independence. They value that autonomy that they have. And it's just really important to remember that, not just at the beginning, but all the way through the sales funnel. So that's definitely one little quirk that we've learned along the way, just to get a real good buy-in from not just your marketing team, but your sales team as well. Another just key topics about customer profiling benefits: efficiency, loyalty. If they feel like they got a personalized experience from you, they're going to come back. Cross-team collaboration, like I mentioned, sales team's got to get on board. And it boosts your sales, like the Kroger example. I mean, people want what they want. And if they don't have it, if they are forced to call in and they're a millennial, they're going somewhere else, right? And gathering insights. I know the more data, the better. And InterNow does a great way of capturing all of our leads and our traffic. So make sure that you're looking back at it and not just having it follow through, right? Look back at it, see the trends, see what you could implement better and improve for the future. Yeah. Hope that was insightful.
Oh, that was awesome.
And I honestly, truly could not recommend these two enough. They've been great partners. If you're looking for someone who really supports you and wants you to be successful, these two have really showed us that and couldn't recommend them enough. I promise they're not paying me to be up here.
Oh, that was really great. And I just love how you capture it. It's like, just give them all the different ways to connect with you and let them do it their way. That's just how we are as humans.
Yep.
And that's why we know AI and robots are not going to take over the world, because we're just too unique.
We're too diverse, definitely.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you. All right.